Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Make It Pretty. Okay, so some of you had asked after seeing Daisy in person and seeing her in videos and stuff, how do I keep her looking good since she is kind of old? I'm going to show you how I do that and what I use to keep her clean. And the biggest thing is, since it's so white, I get a lot of brake specks that come up, and you get a little bit of like brake dust that comes up, and it kind of rusts up here when you're using metallic pads, or even with the ceramic pads that are partially metallic. You get a lot of spots that get stuck in your paint here, and they turn into little rust spots on your paint. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. These spots here, all this stuff, they don't come off. So you gotta kind of use something to get those off. With this being such a white truck, they really show up, and it really drives me nuts. So I'm gonna show you how I get these things off of there and make it all shiny again. Okay, so most of the things that I'm going to show you, you can buy just about anywhere, but I'll put the links down in the description for some of these things so you can get exactly what I've got if you're interested. What I use for the buffing is this Porter Cable random orbit buffer. It does have a locking mechanism in here, so you can make it just spin, or you can make it do the random orbits and stuff like that. But it's just a basic random orbit buffer. Any brand will work. I've got the Porter Cable. It's got an adjustable speed. So I do have a regular larger wheel that just spins, but I like the random orbit for doing stuff like this. But the working end of this is actually the pads that you use on it, or the pads that you install on it, because this kit that I'm going to tell you about, it comes with this backing plate here that screws onto your buffer, and then it takes Velcro pads here. These Velcro pads are Hex-Logic pads. They come in a bunch of different colors depending on what you're doing. This one is for finishing pads, for using wax or sealant, and on the back they've got a color code to tell you what each one does. Let's see, yellow is the stiffest as far as smushy. Yellow is the stiffest for like really getting into paint, or if you're doing some kind of wet sanding between coats or whatever, but yellow will do that. And then it goes orange, green, white, blue, black, red, and they get softer as they go, but they come in packs like this, Velcro on the back. This is what the blue one looks like, and it's got these little hexagon shaped things there, so that's why they call it Hex-Logic. But it works really good. With this kit, it also comes with a couple of scrub brushes that you can attach to your random orbit buffer. These work great for doing all kinds of stuff. I've used this for everything from scrubbing a shower stall out to scrubbing down the camper. You throw some of that barkeeper's friend on there and scrub it with one of these brushes, and the camper will be bright white when you're done. Obviously you wouldn't use this like on your paint, but I do have a different one, a black one that's really stiff, that I use when I'm really wanting to scrub the tires down and get all the road grime and crap off the tires. So you spray some Wesley's bleach white on there and run it with this a couple of times around, and man, those tires really shine up. I use the Meguiar's Mirror Glaze. This is the Ultra Cut compound. It's a heavy cut. I have a lighter buffing compound that I'll run a second time if I'm wanting to really shine it up. But this is the stuff that I use for like heavy cleaning. You can use this on all kinds of stuff. You can use this on fiberglass boats. It'll take oxidation off the fiberglass boats really good with a buffer. You can do it by hand, but who's gonna do a truck this big by hand? So I use the buffer on it. Now when you're buffing, they make this fluid that's a polishing pad conditioner. and you kind of spray a couple of spritz onto your polishing pad while you're buffing, and it just kind of rejuvenates the pad. And what it says on here is lube it or lose it. Protect your paint, finish, and your pads. So it's a pad lubricant so that it kind of buffers the buffing compound in your paint. You can use this, and I do use this for a lot of different things, but what I use when I'm doing this is I use some spray detailer, and you don't have to use Mother's. I've used a lot of different kinds, but this is the Showtime stuff. I'm most out of this stuff, but I use this for my pad lubricant while I'm working on the truck. So I'm gonna do that little space that I showed you with all those rust specks so you can see the difference between the way it is and the way it can be, because yours can look like this too. Now you can see that all those rust spots are gone. You get up here, there's still rust spots and crap up here. But down here, it's smooth as a baby's butt. You don't feel all that stuff in the paint. And it gives you a good base to put a good coat of wax on there and make it really shine up. Anyway, if you want your old girl to look good like this old girl, then just grab some of that stuff that I got linked down below and just take an evening and run the buffer over the whole thing. You'll be really happy with the results. I forgot to tell you guys something. In my videos, I mean, unless I tell you that they did, I'm not paid by all these products that I recommend. These are things that I use and that I'm happy with. I've tried lots of different things. Obviously, I'm kind of old, so I've been around the block. So hopefully you can learn from some of the stuff that I use and that I find worth the money to spend on it. But I'm not sponsored by anybody. They're not sending me free stuff to tell you that it's really, really great. Although if somebody did contact me and say, hey, we're going to send you a bunch of free stuff, will you do a review? I'm not going to tell them go pound sand. I'm going to say, sure, send me some free stuff. But it's going to be an honest review. So if you got a shitty product, don't send it to me. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time, because it's going to be an honest review. If it sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. The stuff that I showed you in this video, doing the paint on the truck, it's worth every penny that I paid for it. And I bought all that stuff myself. Got something good out of this video? Click the like button, click the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And as always, have safe travels, and I hope to see you on the road.